Nominations for this year's Mercury Prize are out, and to my surprise, Arctic Monkeys' album The Car has actually been nominated this year. A pleasant surprise indeed, considering the backlash the album's had from many legacy fans. But what actually is the Mercury Prize? Why do musicians care about this award in particular and not others? And why is it so special and well respected compared to other music awards like the Brits and the Grammys? Well, I've done some research and this is what I've found. Okay, so the Mercury Prize, formerly known as the Mercury Music Prize. Why the name change? I have no idea. If anything, the original name was clearer and more descriptive. The Mercury Prize is an annual music prize awarding the best album released in the UK by a British or an Irish act. Originally created as an alternative to the Brit Awards back in 1992, the prize was originally sponsored by Mercury Communications, hence the name Mercury Prize. Now, music award shows in general really have somewhat been in decline over the past few years, with TV rates plummeting and accusations from both viewers and participants alike of the Grammys accepting bribes for nominations and awards, and the Brits awarding popularity instead of genuine musical prowess, whilst flooding their televised ceremony with political gestures. But in the midst of all of this, the Mercury Prize has somehow maintained its credibility. Now, what's really interesting about the Mercury Prize is that any band or solo artist can actually submit their album for consideration, providing that the album was released in the past 12 months as a digital release, and that over 50% of the band are either British or Irish, and lastly, providing that the band have 190 quid going spare to enter. Out of all of the albums submitted, 12 are shortlisted for the prize. The shortlist is chosen by an independent panel of musicians, music presenters, producers, journalists, festival runners, and other respected personnel from different parts of the industry. And unlike other music award shows, the organisers and showrunners behind the ceremony have no input into the winners. In addition to this, no sponsors, partners, broadcasters, or other music industry organisations can actually exert any influence over the judging process. The idea being that all albums entered are truly judged on their musical merit, irrespective of how popular or commercially successful that artist or album is. And whilst we're there, irrespective of any alignment or support for a certain political agenda. The results of any voting from the judging process are kept confidential, i.e. they're not published, keeping the focus of the Mercury Prize on the music and the music alone. And that can have a pretty drastic effect for certain artists, which I'm going to get into in a second. Lastly, unlike other awards as well, the winner of the prestigious Mercury Prize wins £25,000 in prize money, along with a winner's trophy of course. Can't forget the trophy. Previous winners of the Mercury Prize include artists of all sizes, and artists from a diverse set of musical genres. One of the founding principles of the Mercury Prize is that all music be treated equally, independent of genre. Past winners include Arlo Parks in 2021 for her album Collapsing Sunbeams. In 2019, English rapper Dave won the award for his thrilling album Psychodrama. 2018 saw rockers Wolf Alice win the award for their frankly cracking album Visions of a Life. Other winners include artists from Skepta to Benjamin Clementine to PJ Harvey to Franz Ferdinand to even Miss Dynamite. After being postponed last year in 2022 due to the death of Queen Elizabeth II, the award is now back for 2023. Let's take a look at the nominations. Okay, so it just had to be, didn't it? Arctic Monkeys have been nominated for their 7th studio album, The Car. This is actually the 5th time Arctic Monkeys have made the shortlist, which is pretty incredible. And they're now tying with Radiohead as the most nominated act since the awards began. Arctic Monkeys have won the award just once before for their debut smash hit, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not, way back in 2006. Other well-known acts included in the shortlist are singer-songwriter Jessie Ware, everybody's favourite dance act at the moment, Fred again, now as well as popular, well-known music artists. Because this is the Mercury Prize, there are some newcomers shortlisted also. Ezra Collective, who are tearing it apart in the London jazz scene at the moment, have been nominated. Olivia Dean and Shy Girl, a pop artist that I've not really heard of, but they're also new to the party. I'll leave the full list of nominations on the screen. So, given all of this, why is the Mercury Prize so important for music? Well, as you hopefully saw from the nominations, literally any album from any genre, from any sized artist can be shortlisted. Whether you're a multi-million pound artist on a global stadium tour, or if you're still playing your local pub, the opportunity is there if the music speaks to people. And that can have a considerable effect on the trajectory of an artist's career, especially if they have yet to be discovered. A great example of this is actually one of my favourite bands, Elbow, from Manchester. Now, Elbow's debut album, Asleep in the Bag, was released in May 2001. The album itself was written over the course of 6 years, and so writing for that debut album actually began in 1995. Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't know who Elbow were in 2001, never mind the late 90s. Many years later, in 2008, Elbow actually ended up winning the Mercury Prize for their 4th studio album, The Seldom Seen Kid, which was an album containing mega hits that you will have heard, like Grounds for Divorce and One Day Like This. When collecting his award, Elbow frontman Guy Garvey said that winning the award was quite literally the best thing that has ever happened to the band, and he was right. What most people don't realise is that Elbow had a 700% increase in sales of their album The Seldom Seen Kid after winning the Mercury Prize. 700%. It quite literally put them on the mainstream map. And this isn't just a one-off. The XX saw a 450% increase in sales of their album when they won the award in 2010. More impressive still, James Blake saw a 2,500% increase in album sales on Amazon after he won the Mercury Prize in 2013. The exposure that a relatively unknown artist can get from this award is pretty staggering. And when you look at the size of some of the artists that have been nominated this year, compared to the big hitters like the Monkees, who have 45 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and Fred again, who has 12.7 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Jockstrap, who've been shortlisted for their album I Love You Jennifer B, have 210,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Even smaller still, Lancome, who've been nominated for their album False Lancome, have just 70,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Less than 100,000 monthly listeners. And they're up for the Mercury Prize. Just being shortlisted for this award has probably done wonders for the band's exposure. But just imagine what winning the award would do for this band's career. I think it would change their lives overnight. Now, sadly, we do have to wait until September the 7th for the award ceremony. I would recommend tuning in. There are usually a couple of live performances during the ceremony, which are pretty eclectic and it's a good watch. So, with that said, if you didn't know much about the Mercury Prize before watching this video, I hope you learned something. And for you that did know, I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. Make sure to leave a comment down below, letting me know who you would like to win and your opinion on music award shows in general. I've found that most people these days just don't really care for music awards, although some do like them. The Mercury Prize is the only one that I really respect, to be honest. Now that the nominations are out, I feel like I should be rooting for the small guy, but it would be nice if the car won something, wouldn't it? Do hit that like button to show your support, subscribe to the channel would be hugely appreciated, and if you are interested in watching some more reaction and review content, including why I think most people are wrong about Arctic Monkeys' recent Glastonbury performance, or if that's not your thing and you want to watch me struggle making a song on an iPad, then here are a few links to some videos that you may want to watch next. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.